Aria says I'm muted. No, you can hear me.
No, you're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're fine.
And we are live with the 27th episode of the ESOU University Podcast, featuring this time ScarletWitchie and Zahu as special guests with my co-host Alywels. And this is actually our first four-person podcast. By the way, so
I know, right?
this will be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually we can't find one guest, let alone two.
True.
It's pretty good.
So yeah, I guess for people who don't know about you guys, I guess feel free to introduce yourselves.
Okay. Hi. My name is ScarletWitchie. I run a raiding guild on Discord called Dragon Void. It's PC based. Yeah.
And you stream as well, because I know you're on the hard mode stream team.
Yes, I'm part of the hard mode stream team, but I do not stream as often as I would like, but yeah, I do stream sometimes.
Nice.
Is it because of life that you can't stream as much as you like?
Yeah, it's because of life and yeah. But whenever I can, I just do it.
I think that's the best way to do it, really. Because if you treat it like a job, like Nefus, you end up going crazy, and your hair goes grey. And look at this, look at this man.
It goes blue first, and then it goes grey, and then you start cooking.
I was telling my girlfriend, hey, this doesn't. I mean, what's teal really? Is it green or is it blue? You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, it's neither. I'm like, well, it looks pretty blue or green to me.
And then you start doing cooking with Nefus.
Oh my god, that was a good show.
In the zoo with Nefus, I've watched all. Pretty fun.
Yeah, the zoo was nice.
Yeah.
But hot, really hot that day. It was like a heat wave. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it over there in Europe.
In Europe?
Yeah, it was really a heat wave here as well. It was just terrible. Terrible.
So where are you guys from? Because I'm in the UK, but I feel like you guys aren't in the UK.
I am a Brazilian living in Denmark. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And I lived in Holland before from 2004 till 2017, and now I'm here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Also,
I don't think we've had any Brazilian people on before.
No, so sweet. What about you, Zahu?
Yeah, I was about to say sorry. So I am from Finland, and we don't have to worry about warm weather much here, thankfully.
I think it's always so cold in there.
well, Finland. You know, I have actually a couple of Finnish friends, and that's why a lot of people always ask me, like, why is your character name Yasidan? Or I guess that's how you say it. That's
name what?
Yasidan?
Yasidan?
Yeah. Is it pronounced that way? I don't know. I don't know. It's just ice hard in fucking Finnish.
Oh.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, Sudan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sudan. There you go.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sudan.
Well, how about you, Zahu? You are fourth today. So you're from Finland, and you're also a raid lead like Scarlet. Is there anything you'd like people to know about you?
Well, there's not much to know about me. I'm just a casual, somewhat of an endgame player. Have been raid leading much lately, especially in Dragon Void, and some in ESOU University as a Dragon Void representative. But it's just just pretty much the only thing I do now is just raid leading and in-game content. Not
And he's
much.
really good at it.
Just a casual.
Doesn't sound casual.
Yeah.
So how did either of you get started on ESO? Out of curiosity, I feel like it's something we ask a lot of people.
I used to love playing Skyrim. I played for like hours non-stop. Sometimes, oh my god, there's a sun out there, and I forgot to, And then and then ESO happened, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, let's play Elder Scrolls Online." It was like 8 years ago, and I've been here since then, surviving all the updates and little features. That's how I I'm still here.
Does your friend still play?
No, he doesn't. He abandoned. He abandoned just a few months after saying, "Hey, let's play." 3 months later.
That's such an old time story. Like your friend gets you into a game and then they don't play with you after a while.
After 3 months, he doesn't play anymore. I don't see him online. He's now have a family, 2 kids, and I'm still playing. No kids,
and then you also end up like maining that game or like playing that game for a longer time than they did. It's funny.
longer time than expected, and I'm just. I don't know. I just can't stop playing. I love playing. So.
Yeah. How about you, Zahu?
Hate relationship.
Well, interesting story. I mean, of course, I've been playing Elder Scrolls game a lot, especially Oblivion and Skyrim. I mean, how I started playing ESO was pretty much when me and my couple friends were pretty much drunk, playing PC, thinking, what can we play? And the first thing we thought of was ESO, and that's pretty much how the journey started.
Nice. When was that? Was it like?
Oh, it's this was like mid 2018, but I was mainly just playing PvP. But the PvE kind that I started playing like 2019 early.
Oh wow, I feel like that's not that long ago.
Yeah.
Started drunk.
I'm always surprised how like. So most of the PvE I play with have been playing since like 2016. So to see that someone has got good at PvE that has only been playing like 3 years, I'm a bit jealous. So I feel like I've probably got worse since 2019, to be honest.
You think so?
I don't know. I think so. But I think that's mostly due to like add-ons being way better now.
Huh.
Yeah. Before there were no add-ons. There's nothing.
I mean, do you think you can get worse at ESO? I don't know if that's possible.
I think you
can.
I
Really?
don't know if people can remember when we had the veteran rank and we couldn't travel to, for example, Benkorai because it wasn't your level and you couldn't kill anything. You needed people to kill, and trials were like the max DPS you had was 45k, 50k DPS. And it took so long to kill those Craglorn trials that it was just,
Yeah, but I think as people get older, you do get like worse at video games. Like my hands are completely like screwed. Like
mine too.
They're not as quick anymore.
Yeah,
Definitely
same.
not.
I got a little like I don't know if it's a cyst in here that I'm gonna have it removed.
Yeah, painful.
From playing too much video games, but I will still keep playing.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed some people like sort of between 30 and 40 that I've noticed they've got worse in like the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and I'm a 35 plus.
You have to start thinking about retiring soon.
Maybe just doing quests and.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the addiction is too high to quit the game.
But I think you can be like a good older player, but I feel like older players need to put in more time to learn all the mechanics and like practice it to be better. Whereas these like 19-year-olds, they go into a raid once and they've mastered it.
I don't know about that.
Really?
I don't know that one. Yeah, I don't know that one.
I don't know. I felt that quite strongly.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of young people I know in the guild that they already have all the trifectas and from the Planesbreaker and everything. I was like, whoa! And I'm still here trying to do some hard modes, teaching people, and I only have 2 trifectas, but yeah,
that's still more than like 90% of ESO players. So.
But is that like a result of being young or just a result of the times? Because like, you know what I mean? It's such a different ESO compared to back then, for sure. So there's like more, and it's also like community-wise, there's like more accessibility in terms of like where you can go to, and also like the knowledge. Like there's so much out there and now in public that lets you do the things you can do today. So I don't know if it's age, and I think it's just kind of like it's just the times.
Yeah, I think raiding's got easier to get into certainly than it was in like 2017.
Oh yeah, well, raiding was dead in 2017.
Well, yeah. You know, you could be like if you completed a veteran trial in 2017, you'd be some kind of god. Whereas that same player today, you know, they're just like your average Kraglong pug, probably.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of raiding, how did you both start with raiding? Or raid leading, I guess. Either one.
Yeah, I started well, firstly, like I think like most of people with Kraglong pugs. And then with this Kraglong pugs, I got into some guilds. I helped out also raid leading in them, or just being a staff member and organizing raids. But I've come across with not some nice people, you know, those leaders or some also members that are so toxic that you're like, oh, you're standing on stupid or just shouting. Why are you doing this? And what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, I don't want to be in this kind of environment. So I just created my own and started small. And now we're here. Yeah. But Dragon Void is like a guild where everyone is welcome, and it doesn't matter if you're beginner or advanced player. Everyone is welcome. So
Yeah.
we're happy to teach everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's exactly the same reason I started raiding and raid leading. It's just because you didn't want to play with the Kraglong pugs that don't know what they're doing, but then there's some people that take the game a bit too seriously, and you don't want to play with them either. You want to find some middle ground.
No, they take it so seriously, like, oh, we cannot have a Templar in our group because Templar are now not meta, and I was like, I really don't care what your level is. Okay, we have this requirement that you have to be 160 champion points, but I don't care what your class is if your DPS is low. I don't care. We're all gonna get to the end.
It's fine that people want to play like that, but it's definitely not for everyone.
No, it's not for everyone.
It's good that we've got the places to raid how we want.
Yeah, raid how you want, you do the DPS how you want, your rotation, whatever. Gear, I don't care if you have training on. It's all that matters is that we complete the trial and you have fun. That's it.
Yeah.
And if you want to join some end gamers that are like, oh, okay, we need these classes and these DPS, fine. Go for it. Happy and good luck. Yeah.
So when did the guild start? You mentioned
it started in 2018.
Okay.
And it was first like only with PvP friends, and then I wanted to just have PvE and do some more trials and so on, and then the guild started growing. And the Dragon Void name is inspired by, oh my god, nerd alert. It's inspired by the run for Star Wars Han Solo, the 2016 comic miniseries. And I also like dragons, so Game of Thrones and everything, tomato, and that is. But we are since 2018, so.
I didn't watch that thing. So there's something called Dragon Void in Han Solo?
Dragon Void run.
Oh, okay.
Comic, 2016 comic miniseries. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yep. It exists.
It exists, yes.
Has anything changed since 2018 in terms of, like, I don't know, logistics for your raid guild? Or, like, organizing?
A lot of people, they helped out a lot, and then they wanted to move further to those, like, really end gamers, like, you wanted to have this sort of people, and I was like, well, thank you for helping. A lot of people came and go, but what is mostly the biggest change now is because of the update 35. A lot of people are quitting the game, and it's getting harder and harder to fill up raids.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just had to disband a progression group because people are leaving. So like 5 people was private message. I'm sorry, update is coming, and I'm not happy with it, and I'm not gonna play the game. And I was like, I tried to rescue the group because first was just 3, and then it was 5, 6, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna disband it. Too bad.
Yeah, it's been happening with so many groups at the moment. I could probably name about 5 groups that haven't disbanded. Maybe not even that. Like, it's crazy.
There's like 30-some teams on PC and they disbanded.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it's a lot. I mean, I actually am curious how many people are gone at this point.
Yeah.
You think
But,
100?
I mean, we'll see.
200?
Some of them might come back after like a month or so. Like, I remember it was kind of the same with Morrowind. Lots of people stopped, but then a lot of them came back after not that long.
I don't remember that for PCNA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just stayed gone. You know what's funny? Like, some people from that time have come back since last patch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Some people I used to know, and it's been crazy. I'm like, oh my god, you're still alive? You know what I mean? Like,
people do come back eventually. I think you can never leave ESO. Never really.
I don't know about that.
I don't think I'll ever leave. I think I had like a 3 months break when Call of Duty the last came out, and for 3 months I didn't play. But then I'm like, okay, this game is already boring. I'm going back to ESO.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was just raiding with some trials that I had, but for 3 months I didn't really play much of the game.
Okay.
So where do you find new players? Do you advertise in Zone Chat, or do you is it Discords? How do you find people for raids?
Both ways. Advertising on all the Discords and some zones like Craiglorn, Deshan, this other places. And it also it goes to friend to friend. Say, hey, these people run training runs. Maybe you would like to join and learn. And that's how we get more people.
Yeah. And I mean, if you've got a good project, then friends are going to recommend it to friends. So that's always a good sign if people are recommending it to other people without you even telling them to.
Yeah, that's really nice and sweet. Because before this update 35, we had like sometimes we had 3 raids going on and like so many people playing, and now it's just like cricket noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, can you give it like a sense of the numbers in that aspect?
How many people we have right now?
Yeah, like, and how many people you think have like?
I think the guild has the Discord guild has about 160, 70 people. 870, sorry. But in the in-game, it's because we don't have so many slots for in-game guild, so it's not mandatory that you join. So we just have 160 in the in-game. But yeah.
And like, how often are people raiding? Is it like 1 raid a day, or?
Because of I have some raid leaders, but because of maybe summer vacation, we're not having so many raids right now. But sometimes it's like 3 weeks, depending on who's hosting. But if I have time, I would just make like a lot of raids a week. Yeah.
Yeah. It does seem that like most places at the moment have really sort of cut down on the raids. I know a lot of people that would raid sort of 7, 8 times a week. It's now down to like 2 or 3.
It's down to 2 or 3, yes, that's true. And it's mostly farm runs that is the most popular right now.
Yeah.
We did Dragon Void, like, let's say, before the vacation, was very easy to fill. Like, you would just post a roster up and it would not take more than 2 hours even. 1 hour to fill entirely. They're really bad with the content. I mean, currently, like, it even feels even now, but it's like a bit slower and depends on the content. Like, people are obviously interested more in hard modes than casual fun runs and so.
Yeah, that's true. But with the project Vitality in ESO University, when we post something, it's like 5 minutes already full. That's really nice. 5 minutes, 10 minutes already full. And people are like, oh no, I'm too late. Yeah.
Yeah, I think ESOU's been a great place to find more members, definitely. And it's nice seeing that, if you've played with lots of people in different guilds on EU, you might see them pop up in ESOU as well. So it does seem like everyone's sort of helping each other and helping to build the raiding community. I just hope that it will survive update 35.
Yes, I really hope so too. Yeah. I do help a lot of guilds joining them and also joining in the raids. I mean, I like helping other people. That's what I like doing.
Yeah, I think like in terms of like the raid leaders and the guilds organising it, it's a really healthy atmosphere. It's just we need more people to actually sign up for raids, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's both. You need more raiders and you need more raid leads, especially more raid leads. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think one raid lead's worth at least 100, maybe 200 people.
Yeah, but sometimes we have raid leads, but not active raid leads. Maybe
Well, they're not raid leads.
Yeah, so I've been having you have a 2-week thing. If you don't post anything in 2 weeks, I'm gonna have to remove your role because we have to keep the guild active and to keep it going. But yeah.
I have no idea what to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how do you find new raid leaders, Scarlet? How do you encourage people to raid lead? Do you ask people that you think are good, or do they volunteer themselves? Or
sometimes I ask people that I see that they have good knowledge about the game, and then I ask them. Or sometimes I post on the announcements asking who wants to be a raid leader, and then they just contact me and
yeah.
Like Zahu, I asked him to be a raid leader because I was in some raids with him, and he's really good at explaining, so patient, and no matter how many wipes we had on the twins, he was always like, "No, it's okay, let's try this again."
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I know on ESOU we have had a raid leader training program. I don't know, I think that it wasn't the last time we tried it. The sign-ups weren't great, and then some people weren't showing up, and it's very difficult to get people to be raid leaders.
It is very difficult.
I mean,
Some
I
just
think.
want to. Yeah, sorry.
And I was just saying that I think one of the bigger issues are that people are signing up, of course, but then what I've noticed in pretty much every guild or so on is people pretty much sign off last minute thinking that they don't want to do this, they're either tired or something. It's then it of course makes it harder because then people are waiting and we have to find people within 5 minutes. It's just, I think that's one of the biggest issues I've had raid leading.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
we also have something like a no-show something, and if you don't show up for 2 or 3 raids, you're not gonna be able to join any for a while. Like a little punishment. You get the shame tag. Yeah.
Just going back to logistics, how do you organize your raids? Discord signups primarily? Do you also pull from in-game? Do you have roles, tiers, or requirements apart from the CP160?
Yeah, mostly everyone can join a raid. If it's like a training run, anyone can join. There's no DPS or anything requirement. But if it's like a farm run, we want it to go smooth, and so we do have a little requirement that you know the mechanics. It doesn't matter what your DPS is, just know the mechanics so we don't wipe so much, and we can do more runs in 1 or 2 hours. But yeah, unless there's also progression groups that we do have a bit more requirement mechanics and a little higher DPS. But other than that, that's just it.
Have you ever been called toxic or elitist for having that requirement or those requirements?
No, not really. No.
Really?
Toxic raid leader or gatekeeping?
Yeah. People get that, even in these casual guilds that are, or guilds which are meant to be helping people, they still get called toxic.
I don't get that, but I do get called I don't know, cringe.
Grinch?
Cringe, yes.
Oh, cringe. I
Cringe,
heard
yes.
Grinch. I'm like, what the fuck?
Grinch. No, I'm
How
not.
do you-
I'm not the Grinch.
You're
Mm,
ruining
okay.
people's Christmas. You're ruining people's raiding.
Yes, yes. But no, there are some people that are really like trolls when you get a requirement. Like I want to do, for example, Cloud Rest +2, and I have this, and there's always someone being a troll, or or there's also those that are like the log police, that you post a
The
log.
log police.
The log police.
Who's the
You
log
go
police?
on. I'm not gonna sell names, but they know who they are.
Okay.
And they are like, you are on a training or farm run, and then you have one gear or one staff that is not the proper trait, and they're gonna just say, "Oh my God, look at your gear. It's just stupid. What you're using." And I'm like,
Okay.
these are the kind of people that that's not just on Dragon Void, but in also other guilds that I've been raiding. That I get messages, for example, I didn't know how to run MKZen, for example, that I was using the wrong skills, that I was not doing a proper job, and wrong traits, and I'm like, since when did I ask for your opinion? Like,
Yeah.
they just come to your private message to say that you're doing something, like you should be doing this, or your gear is trash. Okay.
Yeah, I think that there's a way of presenting that would be more polite. You could say like, oh, have you tried using this morph, or tried using this skill, or oh, you forgot to you've accidentally got 4 pieces of MK instead of 5. Like, you don't have to be toxic about it.
You don't have to be, but that's what I told the people. Instead of you helping, saying you should be running these and these skills, because I've never used MKZen on a, for example, VS run, and I don't know how to. I'm not an expert on everything. So
Right.
instead of the person just saying, "Hey, let me help you here. You should use this instead of that," but no, wow, this gear is trash.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, thank you. Instead of you helping, you're just like making the situation more awkward than it is already. Yeah. Have that ever happened to you, Zahu?
No, but what I'm amazed about is how do people have time to check some random logs?
Exactly.
Maybe they're bored. I don't know.
I think some
Yeah.
people just like like to feel better than other people, or like to start arguments for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had that issue, but there will be that issue one day, and we'll see.
Oh, I see someone in a chat saying log police is needed, otherwise you get Scarlet on VAS front kite with Zen MK with 0 dots and 0 MK uptime raid lead. I know who you are.
Yeah, I mean, there are like honest mistakes and stuff, but there's a way of confronting that without being toxic, I
Without
think.
being toxic, exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we had a healer that accidentally enchanted her jewelry with weapon damage instead of spell damage, and this was like 3 years ago, so that was hilarious.
I had I had a raid lead that he was a tank, and all his gear was still on blue, and with a wrong trait, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna help you out. I gave him I helped him farm his gear, and I gave him all the tempering alloy for him to improve his gear. That's what you do. You help people. You're not gonna just trash talk to them, because once upon a time you were that person that didn't even know how to do DPS. I mean, we all been in the same boat before, so you'd rather help than just be unkind. Not nice.
I just don't say anything.
Are you that person, Nefus, like shouting at people for running 4 pieces of Zen?
No, I don't care. Well, it's not that I don't care. It's just I don't like, over the years. It's like if you try to help in like gentle ways, even I think people still dislike you for trying to help them. You know what I mean? Like to them, it's out of the blue. You know what I mean? I'm just like, the only time I would ever like actually tell people what to do or like give them advice is core team and maybe a carry run. if they're fucking up. That's about it. Everything else, I don't care what you do. I don't give a shit. I only care
Yeah,
about
I think
myself
on
at
the
that point.
core and in some core progression or carry, maybe you. Well, yeah, maybe you have to be a bit more pushy, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult if you're signing up for an open raid and you start like telling people that their gear needs to be improved. I can understand that being a little bit maybe unwelcome because they've just gone to have fun or whatever. They're not actually maybe
Right.
interested in their gear or skills.
I mean,
So maybe they don't appreciate the feedback. But I don't know. I think if you advertise the run as like a learning run or that kind of thing, then I think people should be open to the idea that people will want to help them.
Yeah.
what annoys me though is even in those like teaching runs, the people who are not the raid lead are like trying to give advice to the other people.
Yeah.
And it's usually in like really awkward ways or like really like I don't know, antagonizing ways. It's so weird to me. And people think that's like, I don't know. Maybe people are just not self-aware enough. Like they think that's fine to do.
But that's 100% me though. Like if
Is it?
yeah, if someone invites me to a training run and there's like someone asks a question and there's an awkward silence, I'll be like, so this is how you do this, or X, Y, Z. Or if I see we're failing to something that's, like a different tactic would fix that problem, I will try and. Well, I'll say it after like 3 or 4 wipes. I won't say it immediately.
I don't say anything at all. Unless
Just
they ask.
let them
No, they
wipe,
have
let
to
them
ask.
learn.
Yeah, fuck it. Like, they have to ask, like, specifically. You know what I mean? Like, like maybe the raid lead will say, "Oh, does anyone have any suggestions?" Then I say something. Or, "Hey,
Then it's fine,
what do you
yeah.
think we're doing wrong?" Then it's fine. But if we keep wiping for 10 hours straight, I don't care. Like, go ahead. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, I think I definitely need to get better at that. I think I need to hold it in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think there are definitely times where I see what they're doing wrong or what they can do better, but I'm just like, you know what, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, I think if the person is not saying too much, like without asking, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put you in a quiet for a bit because it's a bit too much. But it's very annoying when someone is saying, oh, and they don't even play that role. For example, it's a tank and you're DD and you're telling a tank to do, and the person never played the tank before. Like, you're supposed to stand on there at that place, so you're supposed to do this, but they're like, you're not even a tank, main. So yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly awkward. I mean, have you ever had someone come into a core raid and start giving like instructions? I've had that. I've had like people come as backups and start telling our core team what to do. That was bizarre.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're just being a backup. I just mute myself. And then some people like, hey, Scarlet. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, what do you say? But I don't like doing that.
But
And if I do, it's like a private message. I don't like to make people awkward.
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't really had the issue where people start explaining about the mechanics. The bigger issue or the trials I've rated is people start like calling out the same stuff I call out for no absolute reason, like all the mechanics and so on. I don't mind people calling out ults, but I've had raids where, for example, I say like block, and 2 seconds later someone else says block, and it's like just repeating what I've said makes no sense.
That's whatever. I think. Maybe they're trying to learn the raid lead. Who knows?
I sound far away. Is it better now?
Yeah, seems fine.
Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Okay.
So earlier you
That's just
mentioned.
how my voice is.
So earlier you guys mentioned Dragon Void hosting farm runs and stuff like that, or like they're popular, or like the DLC hard mode and stuff like that is more popular. What's the most popular trials for you guys? Like you've noticed that people want.
Zahu, you mind answering that?
Yeah. I would say I'll say one like non-hard mode and then one hard mode. The most like the fastest feeling trial that is non-hard mode I've had, I would say it was like VRG.
Oh really?
Yeah, but then the hard mode is like VK hard mode. That feels like quite fast. Even the last one that I hosted did feel, I don't know, like I think it was less than 3 hours maybe it filled, and then I've tried hosting hard mode trials. It would take a whole day to fill, and I've come to the conclusion where VK hard mode and VRG for now are like the fastest filling trials in Dragon Void.
Is that because of do people come to those because of the gear, or because they enjoy the mechanics, or what is it about those trials, do you think?
I've noticed that in Dragon Void there are quite a lot of people that are missing the VK hard mode clear. Like, I would say maybe 70-80% of the people that signed up only have the VK plus 2, only the 2 first hard modes. And they're just trying to get the clear. But with VRG, I think it's because of the gear, because all of them all of the ones that I've hosted are pretty much like farm runs instead of like training runs. There are pretty much a lot of people that already know the mechanics, so if I was to host a training run, it would not feel at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like how the chat said, like child that giving a skin is also popular. Also the one that came out now, people want also to farm gear mostly. Like the kind eggs, you have the roaring opportunities that people want, like healers want it. It's just like really farming gear. So you can do end game content.
Yeah. Well, I get what are people wanting from Rockgrove? I mean, I guess Basai, Saxhill.
Yeah.
Sax, for sure.
Yeah, Sax. A lot of
Sax, for
people
sure.
also run the what was the trash setup called? I really forgot now.
Oh, Sulzan or whatever, yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah, a
right,
lot of people
yeah.
still use that, yeah. Still like 3 years, which is a lot from BRG, so there's a lot of farming in BRG as well, and still is, even Craglone, they're like hosting a lot of BRG runs.
Yeah, I still see people doing like the snake boss farm, because, I don't know, I guess that's easier than doing the actual first boss.
Yeah, it drops again, so that's also, I see a lot in Craglorn, just the first boss farm. And also what people want, but is very hard to get, is Asylum Sanctuary +2.
That really?
Yeah.
Huh.
People
Okay.
want that one, but it's hard to complete because
I do agree with this. I've hosted everything from VCR to VK hard mode, VSS hard mode. Even VSS hard mode we managed to clear a lot faster than VAS +2. I'm not even kidding.
Huh.
I'm not sure how, but every group, and this is like 3 different groups, we've cleared VSS hard mode like 2 or 3 weeks, and VAS +2 not even a month. Like, this is like a huge difference I've noticed. Maybe it's the raid leads issue, no idea, but never managed to be quite successful in VAS +2. Managed to get the clears, but it took way longer than getting the clears in VK hard mode and VSS hard mode.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult to get like a veteran team of like random people together for VAS +2, because I feel like everyone has to kind of know what they're doing, really. I mean, if you've got even one person that doesn't know what they're doing and they're running over people with kite, it can make things very, very difficult.
That's kind of amazing to me. VCR Hormone completes more than VA's Hormone. I feel like finding a third tank is the hardest part of VCR Hormone for most groups.
That is really true, yeah.
And
off thinking that trial is not that hard. Even I did it, and I'm not a tank.
Yeah.
Which trial are we talking about, VAS?
Cloud Rest, yeah, Cloud Rest off tank.
Cloud Rest.
Yeah. That is true. I want to say this, and I think not many people agree with me. I think off tanking is a lot easier than main tanking. It's just my opinion.
VAS hard mode?
VCR hard mode.
Oh no, for sure off tanking.
Oh yeah.
You're just staying up there with the rest of the group, just tanking a mini boss every so often. It's like, who cares? The mini boss doesn't hurt you. You just need to block or roll the heavies, and you're done.
Yeah, I do it with a Zen DK and light armor with a taunt, and that's it. It's like you don't even need to be a tank, really.
Yeah, it's like, you have ice step, light armor can easily mitigate the damage that the minis give you. It's like, it's a joke almost.
Huh, that's interesting though.
Well, I think VCR is pretty popular though, because I noticed we've had in Late Night Dungeoneers, we've put up a couple of Cloud Rest +2s and they've filled very quickly. I'm not sure, maybe people just want to farm Reliquin, I guess.
Pretty sure it's Reliquin.
Yeah.
Definitely it's Reliquin or Olorine.
They're not interested in the specifics of portal mechanics and optimizing their crystal rotation or whatever.
Yeah, some people just want the clear. They don't want to put, like a chat say, they don't want to put the work in it to learn and do mechanics and help clear. They just want like, I just want to clear this now. It have to be now. I don't want to put a 1 month work to do a +3 clear. So yeah.
I used to hate VCR hard mode quite a lot, but now I've just come to liking it again. Like I've pretty much tanked my whole life, and
your whole life? Oh shit! Okay.
I was born a
Damn,
tank.
son.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but what I mean is like every MMO game that I played before ESO, just tanking, nothing else. And now just slowly moving to DDs, like trials are getting fun again because it's different. It's not the same experience anymore. It's just like I could do this content all over again without actually getting bored, unless I mean the content just keeps going and going. But I do find DDing a lot more fun, but it requires more time to farm and so on. With the combat changes, it just changed everything, and need to get used to stuff again. But yeah, that's like starting to like VCR hard mode again slowly, so I wouldn't mind doing it again.
Yeah, I often find that the best tanks and healers are the ones that have at least tried other roles, because I think you can't really get good at being a support unless you kind of understand what your other roles are needing of you. Like it's all very well being a healer that can like heal everyone, but until you've played as a DD with a healer that's not giving you the buffs you want, I feel like maybe healers won't understand like the importance of like those uptimes and stuff, and tanks as well. I think you won't know exactly where to position stuff until you've played as a DD with a tank that isn't positioning stuff well, and you realise how frustrating that is.
The best tanks I know.
That is true.
The best tanks I've known throughout my fucking years in ESO, they all started out as DPS. Because they know. They know what's expected of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Until I played a tank, for example, I think it was my first tanking, not in Craglorn, was Sunspire. Until I played that role, I understood how difficult it is to survive the breath. And so the healers needed to give a little more attention to it. And then I was like, okay, now I know that the tank needs attention when it comes to that phase. Because I was just group healing. I forgot about the tank giving charge and so on. And until you play that role, you understand how it works with all the others. It's like one helping the other.
Yeah. I think even if you're not like a very good DD or a very good tank, I think at least just playing those other roles just a little bit to see what you need to do. You don't have to be an expert. Just trying them out. It's definitely something that's worth doing. And I think often these guilds like Dragon Void, where you've got open sign-ups, they're a great place for people to try other roles. Like, do you find that happens? Like, you've got some veteran players that might be very good as a tank main or a healer main. Do they come and try out DDing and stuff? Does that happen?
Yes, we do that as well. Like me, I'm a main healer, and sometimes I just go on tank to learn mechanics and so.
Yeah.
Or I go on DD, which my DPS is not that great, but I try. Yeah. You can try out all the class. If you are a necromancer, you can try on a DD, some other class, and so on. It's totally fine. Also on farm runs, let's switch roles. You go tank, you go heal, you go DD, and then that's also how it goes. Yeah.
Oh. I kind of want to backtrack a little bit to what we were talking about before, in terms of raid leads, groups. I guess update 35. So for raid leading, because we brought this up, do you think like it's even possible to, I guess, successfully on a moderate scale, or not even a big scale, but on a moderate scale, train raid leads? Because I feel like raid leading is can be a very organic experience or journey. Like you don't, you know what I mean? Like you don't really sign up to be a raid lead; it just happens. But when we've tried to train raid leads, it doesn't seem like there's a very like high success rate. Mainly because I think being a raid lead has to do a lot with not just knowing what's going on, but maybe personality too, or your temperament or your attitude.
Yeah.
So do you think it's possible to train raid leads? Or is it just gonna have to be like someone needs to step up?
Zahu, would you mind replying to that?
I mean, like training raid leads. I mean, training players to be raid leads. I think it just comes naturally. Honestly, like no one taught me to raid lead. I didn't really start out raid leading. It was pretty much like a complete random group. We were just going through content. Obviously, we struggled, and there had to be someone to call out stuff, of course. So I just went with it, called out stuff, and it's like just happened, and I realized like just went doing the same thing over and over again, and became successful. And I decided to just expand my raid leading knowledge and went forward to go hard modes and so on. It just happens naturally. It's not something I think is taught to people. It just happens. At least in my case, it just happened, and I don't see how people can teach raid leading. I mean, you can teach mechanics and so on. I think once you become a good player, you don't have to be the greatest player. Just know how mechanics work, know how trials work, and the only thing you need to just pay attention, call out stuff, and be consistent with the calling the mechanics and ults and so on. But I think that's the core knowledge of raid leading is knowing how the entire, I mean not the entire game, but the game works in trials.
Yeah. I started raid leading after running a lot together with other groups. So I would just like listen to what the raid leader is saying, because I'm not gonna, for example, run a raid that I don't know how to raid lead. So there are also a lot of people that are raid leaders and they are just like run a raid and they don't know what they're doing. They do the wrong call outs, like especially on, for example, VMO twins. And then they just keep wiping and wiping because the raid leader don't know what to do. That's kind of difficult as well.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ollie? Has to be organic, or can it be forced? Not forced, but like you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. I mean, I really don't. Yeah, it's so difficult because you're not paying people to be raid leads, so you can't really like tell people, right, you have to raid lead. You kind of have to hope that people will step up and do it. And in my experience, what ends up happening is people don't put themselves forward for it, and then I will have to end up raid leading, or the guild leader. It ends up going down to the guild leader because they're, I guess, the one that cares the most about the guild continuing, and that's like a huge stress on guild leaders.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose what really needs to happen is we need to somehow encourage people to start raid leading, and like if you care about the guild and you care about the project that the guild leader's trying to create, then I think it's worth making that like little sacrifice and nominating yourself as a raid leader, even if it's just for like one raid a week or something, if you have time, of course. I think it's a huge relief for the raid leaders and people, the guild leaders and people trying to organize things when they've got willing raid leaders that are happy to help.
Yeah.
And I think raid leading is very rewarding as well. Like it helps you, improves your like communication skills. You get to meet new people, and usually you get a better idea and understanding of the mechanics yourself as well. And I think as long as you've got a guild environment where people are respectful towards the raid leaders, I think it can be really quite enjoyable raid leading. It's not as stressful as it might seem.
Yeah. I used to be very shy. I mean, I still am, to talk in public and this on, because also my voice is not so loud. And then when I get to raid lead, and when I started raid leading, I ask people to do something and they don't do because my voice is so soft. I don't know if you know what I mean. It's like, hey people, let's do this and that, and then they're like not listening and they just do what they want, and I'm like, oh god, what am I supposed to do now? People are not listening to me because my voice is so soft. Should I shout?
I think it works
Just say,
sometimes.
hey, listen to me. I'm not being toxic. I'm just trying to make you understand me.
I've had a couple cases where I've had to raise my voice, not in like a angry way, but pretty much I think the only way people will listen is, I mean, either raising your voice or telling people to listen to you. I mean, of course, then people think that you're having an attitude and they start calling you toxic, which has happened in my case twice already. That is one of the big reasons why I try to be more careful with my voice, especially. Some people, I mean, I don't blame them, but it's like, at least if you're not listening, then I can afford at least raising my voice.
Yeah, I think that open raid leading is very different to raid leading a core team as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like the attitude is completely different. Like I don't think you can approach an open raid with like telling people what to do and picking up on every single little mistake.
Right.
You're kind of just there to sort of explain the mechanics and maybe like gently point out mistakes that might be like wiping the group.
Yeah. Now imagine explaining all the mechanic of that particular boss, and then there's someone that is not listening. Can you explain that again? I did not understand.
Yeah, it's frustrating, I think, definitely.
Yeah.
But as long as everyone's got the right attitude for it, it can work.
I mean, yeah. I mean, since I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing it for them. I'm not expecting the greatest results either. And then, like, if people are having fun, then what's the harm?
Well, if the answer is or raid leads can only be, I guess, I don't know, gained in a sense through an organic journey or experience, I think we're doomed.
Yeah.
There's so few raid leads already. I don't know, like we can't sustain that. It's just not possible. We've tried it.
We need to like somehow glamorize being a raid leader.
Glamorize.
Yeah, we need like.
What's there to glamorize though?
Raid leader poster boy. I don't know. Let's just say that like Outcast is a raid leader. If you want to be like Outcast, you got to be a raid leader too. Well, you know, like we need.
What?
We need some kind of ESO celebrity. Nephus is a raid leader, so you want to be a raid leader too, kids.
I'm not a celebrity.
Yes. Be like Nephus.
When I grow up, I want to be a
no.
raid leader like Nephus.
No, you can't glamorize it.
No? Damn.
I mean, what's there to glamorize it? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
If you don't know, then I don't know. Like, really,
people want to be like captain of their local football team, don't they?
No, not everyone's like that. I feel like a lot of people who play ESO, they're like, what do those
beta cucks.
What?
They're not alpha males.
What? No.
What
do they call that shit? Bullshit. Introverts? Yeah. You know what I mean?
I am an introvert.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, how you know what I mean? It's like, how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, though, raid leading has made me a better player in terms of understanding mechanics better. It's like a huge improvement I've seen, especially when I've started raid leading. But it's more on the tank side. But it's like raid leading is at beginning I was quite, I wouldn't say shy, but wasn't really. I mean I didn't talk so much. But I just like you get used to it, honestly, especially when you raid a lot of raids. It just naturally comes into you, and it's quite fun, honestly. It's sometimes frustrating, I do admit that. Like, there are people that do not want to listen and they want to do their own thing. But it's like, it's one of the reasons why I'm still playing ESO is I still find raid leading fun, and especially getting people those clears and achievements. It's like a
So
high,
satisfying.
yeah, and it feels nice, and it's like helping people.
Yeah. It took me
It's-
years to get a Vimo skin that I wanted so much, even though it's ugly as fuck. But I was like, wow,
Wait,
I
what are you
finally
saying?
completed.
What was
The
What,
ugly?
which skin?
Yeah,
Which
the
skin is
Vimo
ugly as
skin
fuck?
is ugly.
What?
Yes.
How's it ugly?
I don't know. It's just like
Bruh.
I wanted it so bad, and then when I put it in my character, it looked ugly as fuck, and I was like,
What race is your character?
it was
It looks best on a Khajiit, in my opinion.
on
For
a
some
Khajiit.
reason.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I should try on a Khajiit
Try on
because I did
Khajiit.
not have a Khajiit. I had a Bosmer, so it looked so tiny. It wasn't really looking so good, but the satisfaction of just getting that clear is just so nice. And then when I get to help people to get their clears, and like even a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's nice. I got someone
Yeah.
to have their skin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is what I talked about, I think, some time ago with either Ollie or like a bunch of other people, or at least in the video. Like, once you get to endgame, like, there's only so much dopamine you can get from your own clears or your own trifectas. It's like, okay, this is my 1000th, I don't know, Sunspire Heart mode, or this is my 5th God Slayer. But you don't, it's not the same as your first God Slayer, your first hard mode clear. You know what I mean? Or your very first
Yeah.
vet trial clear. So I think you gain the dopamine from seeing other people clear, which is like, I don't know, like emotional vampirism. You know what I mean? It is.
It is, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. That was a funny moment when like Cloud Rest came out, and I tried for the first time. The raid leader say, "Kill the orbs," and I didn't know what to do. I just had like head bumped into the orb. Not with your head, dummy.
Oh, dear.
I was like, how am I supposed to kill the orb? I thought you were supposed to touch them, like you get on the Sanctum of Fiji, the last one that you get the blue orb. I was like, I thought I was supposed to touch it.
Oh, man.
Oh my god, that was really funny. It's like always, there's always someone that doesn't know what to do, and then
Yeah.
I was one of them once.
Well, I've noticed with the with, like the two-hander backbar meta that you can stampede the orbs without popping them. So maybe we'll see some melee orb killers soon. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Imagine a dragon knight with a whip. I'm gonna whip that orb.
Yeah, Dragon Knight would be perfect. They've got like a 20-meter melee range or whatever it is. It'll be fine.
On a different note, before Update 35 was announced, or we knew anything about it, do you think raid leading got harder? In terms of like, I guess like, I feel like the raiding culture in the past year and a half or so has kind of transitioned towards a culture of like more instant gratification. So in the past, because this is like, in the past it would be unheard of for someone to join a core team and drop out a week after, or a month after, or even 3 months after, because there's a lack of progress. Like, you would be clowned on in 2016 or 2017 or 2018 if you were like, oh, you know, we didn't get the hard mode yet, so I'm dropping on the core team. But nowadays, it's like, it's expected for you to get the hard mode clear. It's expected for you to get the trifecta in the first month or 2 months. Do you think that has made keeping rosters together harder? Or have you guys not felt like that culture, at least on PCU? Because I know that's basically the culture for the most part on PC, I think.
Yeah, I mean, keeping the roster. I mean, of course, there are gonna be people that are gonna sign up expecting a clear in like 2 weeks or so. But I think one of the biggest issues as well is if there are too many sign-offs that you have to like drop the prog group. I've noticed
Right.
that some people lose trust on you. That when you make a new prog, they might not even like sign up anymore. But with the like, since people are expecting clears quite fast, I have no idea. Like compared to 2019, especially, it's like they're even expecting like Emote Redeem or Griffin Heart in 1 month, which is like really tough in 1 month to get like VCR hard mode and Griffin Heart. Before it was like 3 months, 4 months, and it's like even then people still kept going. But I've been in 10 different prog groups, and always it's like some people getting tired after 2 weeks of prog in the group, because there are obviously like there are some inexperienced people and there are some very experienced people in the same group, and the experienced ones expect to clear a lot faster than the people that don't have as much experience, and it's quite difficult to keep a roster up, and I think has always been, but just now it's much harder.
Yeah. Once we got Kainege's hard mode in 2 weeks of doing it, was like maybe 3 raids with Dragon Void. We just got it. Kainege's hard mode. And the Cloud Rest plus like a Griffon Heart, I think it took us 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Doing it. Yeah. But some people are just like, they want fast results and they don't want to work for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. That's also that almost all of the progs that I've been in, especially like the harder content, they're progging the hard mode first. And I've noticed that when you prog in the hard mode, people lose a lot of interest. Yeah. I mean, there are more interest in progging the trifecta itself, but it's more like almost impossible to keep the same people for the time being. It's like even in Godslayer, I would say the average time goes for like 5 months, 6 months almost. I've seen people even 1 year there. And I've seen like every 2 weeks or every month there's always like 1 or 2 people quitting. And it's like, it's something that is expected, and that's why it's really, really good to have backups to help you fill up the roster when some people are signing off. But then, of course, the prog goes a lot longer when you have to replace people, because then those people, if they don't have more experience than the others, and the groups, I would say group synergy and so on, it's not there. It's not the same people again. So it's like you'd have to just almost, get used to the people that you're raiding with. It obviously takes quite longer to get the clear. At least in VAS, I do remember that what we went for 3 emote redeeming clears. I did not get any of them, unfortunately, but it's like the first emote redeemer took like 2 months. Then they had to replace people. It took another 2 months, and even like replacing only 1 person, it took even longer. And I think that's one of the biggest issues in raid leading, especially, is that you have to expect to replace a lot of people, which is also good that, especially with backups, you'd keep at least get the raids going instead of having to cancel every week.
Yeah, I mean it's good that there's people out there who will back up. Like years ago, it was very difficult to find backups.
Was it? Oh, about that
I think
one.
So.
No. Because
Really?
back then it was like, okay, so
pre-Discord.
No, I still think it was
Really?
whatever.
Okay.
It depends. I guess it depends on what team, what kind of team, or what kind of group, or what kind of guild you were in.
Yeah.
I think back then was a lot more serious, and that's why I have a huge disdain. I think it's, for a lot of the newer raiders. I think I think some of the behavior is disgusting. No, think about it. Like they call their groups core teams, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so your core team's going for 1 month, 2 month trifecta, and then you disband after that. You know what I mean? Disgusting. Don't call yourself a core team. Because a core team to me is like, it's so tight knit. It's such an intimate setting. You hang out after the raid too. You don't just leave the fucking voice comms too. You know what I mean? It's like you intimately get to know each other. You know what's going on here. You know what I mean? Like, but these newer raiders are like, oh, if I can't get a trifecta in less than a month, I'm leaving. You fucking clown. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's also like, it's just disgusting, I think. It really is.
I guess that's the downside of groups being so easy to organize now on Discord or whatever.
Well,
I think
yeah,
it's got positives and negatives.
But back then, it's like for core teams, for actual core teams, for prog teams, for endgame prog teams, it's like, okay, you want to get into our team, you can't join it. there's a process. First, you have to try out. I don't know whether it's Bloodspawn or Slime Crawl or the Storm match with NNA. Yeah, you gotta try out. Or you can join us for a run and we'll see how you do. Alright?
Yeah.
And then you're not on the roster. You're a backup. And if we need you, we'll call you. And if one of us happens to quit the game or take a break or one of us happens to underperform, then we'll bring you in. That was the process back then. Now it's just like, oh, you know what I mean? There's like no process anymore. So no one knows what's going on, or like people are just so goddamn entitled. They're so goddamn entitled, dude. Yeah. It's fucking annoying to me. Like, I get it. It's a game. So play how you want, but at the same time, don't call yourself a goddamn core team. It's so annoying to me. It's so insulting. It really is.
I think, I mean, at this point, since it's pretty much tough to find people or competent people, I think it comes to desperation almost to actually get people in the roster instead of having to cancel. I've noticed that as well. Is where if we don't have any backups, it's very, very tough to find people that are actually on par with the entire group, and just have that one inexperienced person, and it just comes to desperation, honestly, to just get the rates going.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the frustrating thing too. Like a lot of these people, like, want to get shit done fast, or they want to be, let's pick a random like end game team, like a score pushing team. Let's pick, I don't know, Unchained Animals or some shit, right? Everyone wants to be Unchained Animals, but they don't want to be Unchained Animals. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to stick together. Why? What's your issue?
They don't want to put in the work.
Exactly. So bad.
It's just going to be like a reflection of like wider society. Are we living in a world now that's different from 5 years ago? Like, you know, if you want to order food, you know, you just go on Uber Eats or whatever food service app, and it's there on your door. We've all got Amazon Prime, and you just download. Netflix is right there. I don't think people wait anymore. Maybe we need to bring back DVDs with Netflix.
Yeah, maybe. I think we just
VHS.
Yeah, VHS.
VHS.
Yeah. If you want to watch that movie, you're gonna have to rewind that VHS.
Rewind
the VHS.
Yeah.
And only then can you watch it.
Yeah.
You have to go down to Blockbuster and rent a fucking video and then rewind it, and then
If you want the music, you have to record it yourself with that those
yeah.
Wait for it to play on the radio, so you can just record it. Walkmans. We are old.
Maybe this is it. Maybe we can make things
bring
less.
back the weight.
Yeah.
Mixtapes, yeah.
But yeah.
Oh
man.
Yeah.
80s mixtape.
Yeah, it's definitely super frustrating for sure. I mean, because it's not. It comes with that comes with a lot of behaviors I've seen recently that I could not have imagined even 3 years ago. You know what I mean? There's people minus Xing or minus plussing. I don't know how you guys do it on EU actually. What, like, do you guys say like
plus and minus?
Okay, so on NA we X up for group. We don't plus up for group. All right.
That's weird.
No, you're weird. But anyway, and when people want to not go,
we multiply.
Yeah, we multiply. Multiplication's better than addition. But anyway, so we X up, or if you want to not go on a roster or a run, you minus X. So how do you guys do it when you don't want to go?
Just a minus.
Just a minus?
Why do you do minus X and not division?
What? What are you talking about?
If you're doing X for joining, you should do division symbol for...
Because, okay, division symbol is slash, right? On most keyboards.
Oh, no,
so that's a command. Slash is a
fine.
command.
You could do the horizontal one with the 2 dots. Can you even do that on a keyboard? I don't even know. Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
Boys, we are waiting.
I don't know. But yeah, there's some behaviors that I just am baffled by a lot of these so-called core teams. There's people not coming to core runs because they just want to watch a TV show or some shit, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, what?
Yeah.
You kidding me? You're making people wait like 15 minutes more on the door.
I'm not coming to raid tonight. I'm watching Olibo do his raid. And
right, yeah, and people are just not prepared, or people are late. So if a raid's starting at 9 p.m., people are starting at 9:15 because they're not forming at like 8:45. It's just so annoying. I don't know. I don't know.
Are there like cultural differences in NA? Because I know in EU, anyone that's got like a Mediterranean coast, they are always late for raid. So Italians, Spanish, people who live in the south of France, Turkish, Greek,
Wow.
they're all late for raid. But like Scandinavians,
Brazilians too.
Brazilians too. Well, you got a nice coast. You can go to the beach. But Germans, like Danish, Scandinavians, British people, we're always on time for raid.
Yeah.
Because it's dark outside and it's raining. We want to be inside. We want to be in this raid. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know what you mean dark outside, 24/7 sunlight here.
Yeah. We live at our
Terrible.
computers because it's. Does that happen in like all these cool California kids like coming up late to raid? Oh, I've just been, I've been busy surfing. Sorry.
NA's PC NA is not as diverse as PC. As strange as that might sound.
I bet people from the Midwest, they're showing up to raids on time. They've got nothing better to do.
Yeah, actually, probably. But no, it's just not as diverse
the
as
corn
EU.
is still growing in the field. I better get to raid.
Imagine also saying, "Oh my God, I have 400, 500 ping," and then it's like, "Oh my God, I died because I have 500 ping," and some other people, "I have 1,000 and I did not die."
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah.
On that note, let's start talking about, I guess, as we talked about raid leads and raiding. How about Update 35? I mean, I know that's a big elephant in the room for a lot of people, especially with Week 5 PTS coming out tomorrow. What do you think about Update 35, Zahu and Scarlet? What's that deep inhale?
Honestly, I haven't looked much into it. I've only listened to people say stuff. I haven't even tested in PTS. With the changes that people have mentioned, I mean the major changes, I don't really mind that much. It's not gonna make me quit. It's like something you just have to get used to, and obviously see if it gets better there. I always give updates like a chance to like redeem itself. Maybe the update 36 is gonna fix stuff, make the game better again. But in like raid lead point of view, it's a huge change. A lot of people quitting, and obviously since a lot of people are quitting, it's harder to organize raids, and it's just it just gets tough, honestly. But for me, it's like it hasn't really changed anything in the game. It's just I'm gonna continue doing the same stuff I've always been doing.
Yeah, same as me. I'm not going to hop on the abandoned wagon and I would just wait until it goes live. And if I don't like, I would just adapt, as I always did with all the changes. I will still try to get raids going on, because not any update has affected like the time that I've spent in the game, which is sometimes hours a day when I can't sleep. I'll just go farming, questing, getting materials to sell. I don't know. I'm not gonna quit the game because of just an update. I've survived a lot of updates and features, so bring it on. Yeah.
What do you think, Ollie?
Yeah, I mean, I think most players will just adapt, and if we don't like the features, then can give feedback. And I don't think any changes are permanent. I mean, we've seen how much the game has changed in like 6, 7, 8 years.
But that's the problem. You know what I mean?
That it changes a lot.
I think in terms of quality of life and systems and features, new features, that's fine. Right? Like sticker book, transmute, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're changing the fundamentals so much over the years, it's like, I think that's part of the issue.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem, and it kind of makes you worry a little bit when they're changing things so much. Like, do they not really understand what they want from the game? Like, I don't know. It's so hard to say, but I feel like if we can just get through this hurdle, maybe it will be better again on the other side.
But that's what happened already, like 3 times at this point. How many times have we been told, suffer now, less pain later?
Was the combat really better in like 2016 than it is this patch?
For which aspect of the game?
But just like the
'Cause that's
combat
a
in terms
huge
of
thing.
how it feels to play DPS and how it feels to tank and heal.
Well, 2016 we didn't have Warden or Necromancer. We also didn't have cast times for ultimates. We also had different skill morphs.
There were no transmute.
And, I mean, it's I don't know how to even like answer that.
Yeah, I mean, like there were things back in the day, like you could perma block and you could regain stamina whilst blocking. Like that was weird, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is going to be a terrible change. It's going to ruin tanking for everyone." But I think it's better now that you have to play a little bit more dynamically.
Maybe.
So, I mean, I'm not saying these changes are good, but I think I don't mind them changing things occasionally as long as they're open to changing them back if
Yeah.
people don't like them.
If they fuck it up. And if they fuck it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think the problem. I think the problem is still frequency. It's not occasional at all. I think I wrote it down here somewhere for like Finn, because he like there was a discussion like, oh, what do you think changes a lot? I mean, so like for example, we can start Scalebreaker, right? Because that's usually when most people like what most people remember in terms of big combat changes. So Scalebreaker was the healing changes in conjunction with the heavy dot nerfs, right? And that was flipped in Dragonhold, the patch after. And then Hero Storm, there were changes to block casting animations and blocking, right? So that's another like big change. But there's also that's also at the point where like there was so many things changing that content creators stopped making videos.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a bad performance patch, it was also a really bad time for content creation. So like Asian God and also Fear Turbo. Fear Turbo especially, like he's a good friend of mine, he just stopped making videos. He couldn't keep up. Not a lot of content creators could. So when you know what I mean? It's that bad. Then Greymore, after the patch after Hero Storm, there were actually a lot of class changes like Nightblade. And then there were like major trait changes. Then there were Mundus, I think there were Mundus changes. And there were also changes to, I mean, and then Mythics at the same time came out. And at the same time, Vampire and Werewolf changed, which is fine, but at the same time, that's still a change, right? And then that's also the patch where I think they told us, you know, you should run VMA again for the perfected weapons. That's more fatigue, right? And then the patch after Greymore, all right, the Vampire playstyle, which they wanted to not be just for one passive or one skill, started reverting back to one passive and one skill because Vampire was too strong, apparently. And then traits, items, and the traits and item sets changed again because of item set audit. The patch after Greymore in Stonethorn, right? And then Markarth Werewolf changed, and then they introduced SBE, which is set bonus efficiency, which determined the values of item sets, but also they changed the nature of buffs and debuffs, like Minor Brittle, Cowardice. They also combined major breach and major fracture into major breach, right? So that's, and this, so far I've listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 patches in a row where they've changed so many things. So the 7th patch was Flames of Ambition. Guess what? CP 2.0. You know what I mean? So, okay, that's 8 patches out, right? Or 7 patches, right? And then they changed racial passives, that same patch too. And then they also targeted crit for Flames of Ambition, right? And then they changed more item sets. Blackwood, guess what? You know what I mean? Like, some sets and classes were changed, but then item set procs were targeted. You remember that with PvP and PvE? Right? Because now proc sets can crit. What does that mean for PvP and PvE, right? And then the patch after Blackwood, it's Waking Flame. Guess what happens? They restrict proc sets from PvP. From certain PvP campaigns. Then they start hybridizing combat or classes, right? But then it kind of starts settling down, you know, during Waking Flame. Alright? But then Deadlands, oh, surprise! You know, we changed the proc scaling again, right? And, oh, by the way, there's a 125% crit cap on 125% cap on crit damage. There's also these other class changes, by the way. All right, and then like Ascending Tide, more hybridization, and it starts settling down. Then High Isle, 9-10 patches later, right? Oh, okay, you know, things have settled down. You know, the dust has settled. And then next patch, it's just flipping all over again. So I just listed at least 10 patches in a row since Scalebreaker, where so much has changed in terms of combat. I don't think it's occasional. I think that's why it's such a huge problem for a lot of people. It's so frequent to the point where, oh my god, I can't keep up, I can't make videos, or I don't want to waste my time farming or for transmutes or materials. That's how much has changed since Scalebreaker. I can go back further, to fucking Morrowind, and probably will see the same exact pattern of constant changes. Right, so that's there. There we go.
Yeah, it's definitely exhausting for people that have played the game that long. It is really tiring to have to like change everything every single time, and maybe even have to learn a new class if you want to fit in with the meta. It's exhausting, but there's got to be some reason that. Why would they do that? What do you think?
I mean, I feel like, and this just comes out of my mouth. What one of my good friends, I have to say his name, sorry. He mentioned that I think the Xars relies too much on the 1 percentile, where they push the end game so fast and so easily that they make the game look so easy, and the damage is like way over the ceiling even, where it feels like a joke almost. And I feel like they rely too much on that instead of the average player, because it just seems that they try to reduce the damage, set some ceilings, change the combat system so much that the damage just gets nerfed. And I always thought that they rely too much on that 1 percentile, or even less. I'm not sure like how many players they are in the EU example, in like world record groups and so on. But that's what I think is like they rely too much on their gameplay instead of the average player's gameplay.
Right. Well, you think they underestimate how strong the end game players are, and then they're surprised when they clear the content so quickly. So they need to like nerf the whole combat system to try and bring them down a peg.
Yeah, that's exactly, because it's like if you compare to like an average group, they even struggle to clear just like a veteran Red Sail Reef or even the hard mode itself. But then let's say, for example, we have like Unchained Animals, where they make the trial look so easy, and I think it didn't take them even like, I want to say like a month even to get the Swashbuckler Supreme, for example.
I don't know, I think it's like 4 months, and they got it like.
I
3
mean,
weeks
in
ago,
ETS they have trade, but I mean like
okay, sure, yeah.
after release, and I think like with that it's like they make everything look so easy, because I don't think there's like any other necessary need to reduce the damage so much, because again, if you compare to the average group, it's like they sometimes even struggle there, and I'm talking even in non-hard mode. It's like this is what I've always thought. It's not my be true, but it's my like thought about the whole situation with the changes and so on.
Yeah, but do you think the changes actually help the majority of players? Like, it's okay to nerf the top 1% if you're helping the 99%, but I'm not sure that any of these changes will help the 99%.
I mean, this is before High Isles. I think they mentioned that they're trying to reduce the damage ceiling, where they literally went the other way. They raised it by like 30k or so. And I think with that, they just like, I'm still expecting the damage to go up. That's just like, even with Stamsword, it was a huge surprise that the damage was so high that I tried Stamsword for the first time ever, and I managed to outparse my main class, and it's like it was quite surprising. But I think with these like now the changes now, I think they're trying to make everything harder, and comparing like all the content to, for example, VRG or VDSR, like the new trials are very mechanic heavy, which is the other thing that they're trying to do, is make everything like bosses can't be burned. There has to be like mechanics focused, which is gonna be a wipe. Like BK hard mode is a huge example of no mechanics. It's just burn the boss and that's it.
Yeah,
Where you
yeah.
compare it to ESR, you can't burn the bosses almost.
Well, they can't change that though. The very nature, the very existence of mechanics, like, encourages you, no matter what game really, to burn past it or to skip it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, it's just so much easier to just kill it before it kills you. In any game. I mean, even, like, I've been playing Elden Ring for the past 2 days, and it's like, it's so true. And for Elden Ring, there's mechanics, you have to roll dodge and shit, right? But if you can kill them really fast, whatever, doesn't matter. Same for ESO. I think they should. I think they're making a big mistake at times. Like, I think they look at what the top players do or the top groups do, whether it's in PvP or PvE. I think they should ignore what those players do, honestly, for the most part. No, I'm serious. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
who cares if, like, I don't know, Ollie, like, who cares if your team is killing, I don't know, like if you're getting Planesbreaker in the first month after release? Who cares? Why should they care? At this point, you know, honestly, why?
Yeah.
Because
That is-
You want to be focusing on the majority of your player base, surely.
yeah, and you shouldn't be okay. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you're not gonna provide a reward structure or set of incentives for your endgame population, why are you even balancing the combat around the endgame population? Unless
If that's what they're doing. We don't.
I think that's what they're doing, because and the combat balance isn't even for the benefit of that segment of the population. It doesn't make sense to me at all. I think they should just focus on everybody else. Like, there are some things that they should pay attention to with the top groups, like pre-buffing, you know, the pre-buff sets and all that, and the gear swaps, and that's fine. That's ludicrous. Sure, target the ludicrous stuff, but don't change the entire game around us. That makes no sense to me at all. At all, on a social or a gameplay level.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that rather than like reducing the ceiling, they've kind of reduced the ceiling for everyone. And, like, they dropped the floor maybe a bit lower. If you know what I mean. Like, if they've made the game a bit harder for everyone rather than just making it harder for the top 1%.
So the question for the top 1% or the top 0.01% of that 1% is not if they can adapt. The question is if they want to adapt. Right, and that's what you're seeing right now with Update 35. That's why you're seeing people leave, because they don't want to adapt. They're tired, right? They just want to leave. That's a huge red flag to me, because at least with Morrowind, people stuck around to test PTS, and they stuck around sometime after to, you know, do some VOF hard mode. You know what I mean? But I think patch notes, this Update 35 patch note has failed completely in itself as a patch note. Like, if people are leaving without testing on week 1, that's a huge red flag. And secondly, if a lot of your player base, a significant portion of your player base is anxious, concerned, scared, or worried about next patch, the patch notes have failed. Patch notes are like new stuff, new content supposed to like hype you up, not cause this, you know what I mean? It's just failed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of problems, and that's fine. But why are we having to do this every 3 months at this point? Makes no sense.
It's not almost even accessibility anymore. It's just making, like, even the hybridization like made everything harder for even the beginners. But since like they rely too much on the endgame players again, like for example on Chain Animals, like they can pull amazing results. It's a bad thing to look at, because it really changes a lot when they rely too much on those information. And it's like now we just I honestly don't know where ESO is going at this point. Especially, like, I haven't really tested, but the heavy attack changes, what I've heard is like ridiculous damage, and it's like, what is the reason for this? Like, I just feel like, again, they try to reduce the damage, but again, it's just going the other way. Literally.
Bruh. Have you seen like that PTS video I did, Ollie? or Scarlet
think I've
with the Resto staff.
Yeah, I've seen it.
People are getting 100k with Resto staff heavy attacks. I'm just like,
Wow.
I think we just need. I just keep saying this, and I feel like I'm just tired of saying it. But I think we need like a huge, or not huge, but like a very detailed statement or like roadmap. Where's the ESO going?
Yes.
You know, I think that would give a lot of people assurances and also like
Yeah.
information as to what they should do. That's it.
I remember in the very, very old champion points in like 2015, people did use Resto staves because there was like a champion point for magic damage, and it was like the same one as everything else that buffed Nightblade skills. So people were using. Do you remember that? Like Endless Hail did flame damage.
Oh yeah, that was like 2014, 2015, bro.
Okay.
That was good.
That was a really tough
time
What
ago.
the fuck?
But maybe it's going full circle. Maybe we're going to get vet ranks.
It
back,
has gone
you know?
full circle. That's the most messed up part. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm going to be champion rank 300, vet rank 360. next month is going to be great.
Oh god, vet rings.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what to do next patch, personally. I think a lot of guilds are gonna turtle up. No, I'm serious. I think a lot of guilds are gonna turtle up. They've already started turtling up, including my guild. So I don't know what's gonna happen in Project Vitality either. Like I have to do a head count this PTS week and see how many are not just a head count for Project Vitality in terms of raid leads, but also a head count for the faculty in ESOU, because a lot of people are taking a break or quitting.
Yeah.
So
we'll just get Zahu to lead every single EU raid.
Yeah.
It's all on you. You're the last one left.
Poor Zahu. Ray leading everything.
I mean, just not even a joke. I love raid leading though. It's like
Brilliant.
it's.
Yeah.
Can,
it's
can we
quite nice.
can we clone you and put you in different servers, something like that?
Even when I'm doing it, he'd take over. And I'm like, okay, go on.
And backseat raid leads.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like obviously people have to try it out to actually seem to enjoy it or not, instead of just assuming that they don't like raid leading.
Yeah.
You have always
And
to
maybe,
try out
yeah,
yourself.
maybe we like force like a random person to raid lead every single sign up. You know, you do like a lottery, like spin a wheel. Like 12 people sign up, spin a wheel. Okay, you're raid
Yeah.
leader
hey,
today.
that doesn't sound like a bad idea at all, honestly.
Yesterday I had some pretty good time with the Guild Ninja post, where it was just a chill run where we did like normal trials, and every one of us were raid leading. It was really fun. Like you have to do cloud rest backwards. You're not supposed to go so. You have to do backwards, or like you're gonna do DPS with whatever you loot. That was pretty fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are exactly the kind of challenges that.
So it's like
we
just
need
pick
for
one
our
and you
great
do
content.
the next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
You don't know about
exhausting,
what?
isn't it?
Which one?
It's all the changes and everything, and just
Oh, of course it's exhausting, bro. Like, I mean, I just explained the past, was it 11, 12 patches in a row?
Yeah.
God. If you go back further, it's probably every patch that something changes. Seriously.
There's always
know.
something changed. People complain. People threaten.
Yeah,
to
yeah, you know, I
come
get
back.
that. But this is different,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
this is worse than Morrowind, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
I think like there will always be like a natural fall off of veteran players, because not everyone's going to play the game forever. And I think the
That's-
longer you've played, the more you see people like your friends leaving. Maybe that's exhausting as well.
Yeah.
And like
It is.
that could make it. I think that just compounds the problem probably.
I think that's fine, people leaving over time. What's not fine is people aren't being, those people aren't being replaced by the newer, you know what I mean? It's just
Yes, yeah.
there's no bridge or
I
connection
thought
there.
we were just saying that there's like new players that can do. You know, they jump straight into a raid and they've got.
But why
like,
could they?
Griffin Heart and-
Why could they do that? That was my question earlier. Is it because they're younger, or is it because we've provided for them a foundation for them to do so?
Yeah,
All the
it's hard to
knowledge,
say,
all the
right?
guides, all the video, all the builds, all the raid teams, all the raid guilds that popped up in the past a year and a half. You know what I mean? You can't raid without a raid team. You know what I mean?
True.
And that
It's
now,
like someone asked, does it feel different because we're older?
Well, yeah,
what feels different
maybe.
when because we're older?
Yeah, the updates and I don't know.
Yeah. Like, are we tired of them because we're old and grumpy?
No, I know a lot of sub 22-year-olds that are moving on.
Oh, really?
Sub 25-year-olds. I mean, that's pretty young.
That's because they finished university and they have to go and get a job.
Yeah, maybe.
They don't have the free time
Maybe.
anymore.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Who cares? Yeah, it's whatever. But yeah. But yeah. You're right, I think, Ollie, with the friends leaving thing. Because, like, I think most people stay in ESO for two things. You know, combat and friends. Yeah, the combat pisses people off, your friends off, and they leave. Well, what's left?
Maybe they're just using it as an excuse. Just like, oh, you know, this is a chance to escape ESO and I can go and live my real life. Like, I've had a couple of like guild members saying, oh, you know, the next patch looks kind of difficult. I'm going to go and like travel the world or something, you know, or like go and get a job or that kind of thing. I think they use it as an excuse, really.
I think there's a lot more people though who want to keep playing, but they at the same time don't want to keep playing. There was a wonderful post by Wondernuts in the PTS feedback channel in the server. Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing I've seen pretty much a lot of people I know say. What do you say? Like he's played ESO for 5 years. It's been an amazing journey, but at the same time, it's like, you know what I mean? I think that sentiment is quite widely reflected in what everyone's saying.
Yeah, it's in the PTS feedback channel, yeah. Get a link. There's a link in chat there.
ESO is a game that I've loved and called home for the past 5 years. You know what I mean? I think that's what we'll say here. At the very end. So I'm getting the sense people want to keep playing, but they don't know where this is going. So they have no choice to, except to maybe take a break or quit. That's all.
Yeah, and I don't see any other games that could replace ESO.
A lot of ESO players I know, at least on PC and A, they have gone to Final Fantasy 14. A lot of them. A lot.
Not a lot. Yeah, I've heard
a lot. Dude.
Why?
You may as well just go to like Minecraft or something.
Minecraft.
Just...
Oh, there's a lot of people going to Minecraft too, by the way.
Go play Minecraft or The Sims, I don't know.
The top...
I bought the new SpongeBob DLC for Minecraft. It's pretty fun.
SpongeBob,
pretty good. Yeah. It's like
the top 3 games people are going to right now, at least from what I've seen on my end, is Final Fantasy 14, Minecraft, and... No, I'm serious. I'm fucking serious. I'm fucking serious. Okay. Final Fantasy 14, Minecraft, and Lost Ark. Those are the games people are going to right now.
Wow.
And whatever is in between is like single-player games, probably. I don't know.
Actually, yeah, one of my friends that played for a long time, I'd see him now playing Skyrim like 10 hours a day.
Yeah, I think there's a multiplayer thing now, right? With Skyrim. Yeah, that's cool.
I got a VR for Skyrim. I haven't tried yet.
Oh my god. You need to stream that. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah. I know that you can hug NPCs and do all these things. And it's
oh my god.
Awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
First 2 weeks of playing VR, just feeling dizzy, having to all the time. That was my first 2 weeks, and I just gave up on VR.
I had that thing that when I removed the glasses, I was like, oh my god, it's a real world, I can touch things! What is this? My hands! It's really funny.
Maybe that's going to be the next big change in ESO, that we're all going to have to start playing in VR.
Ooh, imagine first person.
Oh god, dude, nausea, holy shit. The amount of lights and ability effect, oh my lord. And the head bob, ugh.
Imagine being a tank with all, like, everything is here, you can't see anyone.
Like,
No.
head bob, you need to turn head bob off. Like
Let's
ground,
not-
the
not
head
give
bob
them
and ground shake you need to turn off because otherwise you will just throw up immediately.
Let's not give them ideas.
So, as raid leads and as experienced players, what do you think is coming tomorrow for Update 35? What are you expecting? Because tomorrow is the start of the PTS Week 5, the final PTS cycle week. Week 6 is Stadia recertification, so there's nothing there. So Week 5 is what goes to live. So they're going to be doing two things primarily. More class adjustments, I think for Sorcerer, Warden, and Nightblade. Specifically magic specs for those classes. If there's such a thing as classes anymore. It's true. But, and also dungeon and trial content. So they're going to be adjusting primarily health of bosses and elite ads. What are you? What do you think like needs to be touched or whatever? What are you expecting? It's a loaded question, so take your time.
That is
Oh, God.
actually a tough question.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, even with the current things from the past changes, I'd rather have it stay than change a lot of stuff. And I really don't know what to change or what should be changed. I feel like even if I thought about something, it would still change a lot, and then you just have to get adjusted to the changes. That's a tough question that I really don't know how to answer.
Yeah, me too. There's like too much that needs to change. Like health, boss's health, for example. The Kynig is less boss. That's too much. It takes so long to fight. But like increase maybe the health of the NPCs that you have to fight in a world doing quests, for example. I mean, 1-3 light attacks, they die. I want more action. Not just like, oh, there is a enemy coming, I'm just gonna hit 3 light attacks and it's gonna die. Like, to make it more, I don't know how to say that word than my English.
Yeah, I mean when the balance is already, like you say, so strange.
Balance,
The last boss in Kind's Aegis can take like, I don't know, like 10 minutes for an average group, I guess.
Final
And-
experience is 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, and then
Yeah.
like an overland mob takes 3 hits and doesn't do any damage to you.
It doesn't do it. I killed some of the bosses just alone. That is just
Mm.
terrible.
Yeah, which are like advertised as group bosses. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe the health percentages need to be adjusted, but I think adjusting them because you're breaking the game in other ways, I don't think that's
Yeah.
like the way
I want more challenge.
the
for
way to do it.
example, when doing quests.
And it seems like a lot of work to go and readjust all of those different bosses.
Yeah.
And it won't be perfect. It won't be perfect the first time they do it. It won't be perfect like 3-4 patches in the future either. It's going to be a very lengthy process. And it seems like something they've just come up with for week 3 or 4. They said they wanted to change the. I feel like it needs a lot more planning than that, I would have thought.
Make every NPC in the game as strong as the god in every major city.
Yeah, give them all, was it 3 million health or something?
Yeah.
I think what they're gonna probably do is not like very slightly touch pre-20. Fuck, I don't know. Like they'll probably slightly touch pre-2019 trials, very slightly in terms of health. Because I mean, Craglord, do they really need a nerf? You think?
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. They're quite quick.
No.
Maybe, or even V-Maw. Do you think that needs a health nerf?
No.
Maybe. So,
Maybe some dungeons
what needs a
as well.
nerf? Maybe Sunspire. Maybe Kind's Aegis, last boss.
Yeah.
And then after that, yeah, Rockgrove and DSR thing will be subject to the most change, for sure. Because they're the newer trials balanced around the top 1%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're still tough. Like, there's not that many people that have Planesbreaker still,
Right.
compared to how many people had Dawnbreaker like
Yeah.
2 years after release.
For dungeons, I'm kind of curious.
Dungeons that would be nice in some bosses. They're like some of them is just too much.
Which one?
I think. What is the name of that one that we were doing yesterday, Zahu?
Shipwright.
Shipwrights
Yeah.
are great. Yeah.
The
I
last
thought
boss
that-
can take a while.
It was taking too
Okay.
much. And dying for some unexpected thing. I wasn't even standing on the thing and I died. It's like, what the hell? Are you kidding me?
Hmm.
Invisible
Actually-
something just boom died.
There is that boss in Fungal Grotto where if you kill the ads, then the main boss takes ages. They could nerf that one. I wouldn't mind that.
I'm
Was
gonna.
it Fungal Grotto?
It's like 3 droogs or whatever they're called. Not those weird
Oh, yeah,
spider
yeah.
crab things. And if
Yeah.
you kill them, then the boss takes like
Mm.
1% damage.
Oh yeah, yeah, you killed the
Nerf
delivery,
that
yeah.
one. That one needs nerf.
I never understood that, honestly.
It's an interesting
Do
mechanic.
not touch them. Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off if they like nerf the base game dungeons. Well, like Spindle Clutcher, Fungralo, or some shit like that. I'll be like, okay.
Well, there was a period
Cool.
where they were nerfing City of Ashlight every like 3 months and White Gold Tower.
Yeah.
People still playing those.
PRC
funny.
prison.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound fucked up.
Uh-oh.
I think this is gonna be a very
Okay.
controversial opinion.
Oh no.
I think they should nerf all the content. Like no, I'm serious. All the trials.
Okay.
Okay.
Outside of Craglorns, probably.
Yeah.
I think they should nerf all that shit and make it like. I think they should make it to the point where it's like not super easy, but easy. Like the trifectas, even. Godslayer should be easy for
Super easy.
the end game groups. You know what I mean? Like on like.
Is it not already?
Yeah. Okay, like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Okay. Go
Like-
on. Keep explaining.
I think Planesbreaker and Swashbuckler Supreme should be kind of not as easy as like Dawnbringer, but like kind of the midpoint between Dawnbringer and Planesbreaker right now. You know what I mean? I
Sure.
don't know. Like, why not? Fuck it. Because if you're opening up, no, I'm serious. Like, if you're making the content easier, then you have more people rating, right? In a
Yeah, that's
sense.
true. Yeah. Imagine Godslay in 3 days or 2 days or 1 day with a pug.
I don't know.
Actually, that's one thing that I've noticed. All 3 so on years that I've played this game, I've seen one completely random group clear Godslayer in just
Mhm.
like first 2 hours.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wow.
It
But-
was quite, but obviously they all had like a lot of experience and so on. It's like I would say it's more like semi-pug group. Obviously they made sure that they have experience and logs, but it's more like a pug thing, picking up people from Raglan or zones and just
Yeah.
going for the Godslayer. And they actually got it the first 2 hours, I think, or 3 hours. It was quite interesting, honestly.
Yeah. We had a dungeon clear trifecta with a pug from Craglon too. That was really funny. One run, got the trifecta. I was like, what? Okay, let's make a group and be friends forever.
Then I don't know if we're making those trifectas more obtainable. Is it going to? I think there would need to be the incentives to be
Incentives.
properly implemented. for
There's no
that.
incentives now.
I
You
know,
what I mean?
but I feel like that would make it even worse, even less incentive.
Well, I'm saying this
because
from
there's nothing to work.
I'm saying make it
towards.
easier, like or easy from the perspective of an in-game raider. It won't like I don't know how to describe this. Like, like not easy that pugs can do it, but just easy to where it's just simply more accessible for the mid-tier groups. That's all. Hard modes, especially like this is actually something I brought up to Finn. I don't know if you remember this, Ollie, right?
Mhm.
During the Rock Roof PTS. Because I was confused by Zawaka
It's
hard mode.
Very tough, yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, so Finn, like, I don't get it. What is the vision with Zawaka for Rock Roof? Because Zawaka, like, hard mode to me is like not a trifecta level, kind of like skill level or experience needed. You know what I mean? Because at least on Rock Roof PTS, you needed to be near flawless. You can have like 2 or 3 deaths, And that's assuming you have a really high DPS group already.
Yeah, with Pathfinders, I mean, we're not like
Right.
super duper duper DPS, but we're pretty good. And we, like 1 or 2 deaths and we'd wipe
So like,
on Zavaka.
with Zavaka Harmu, they blurred the line between like Trifecta and Harmu, I feel like. I don't think that should be the case. I think like clearly there should be a huge line between a no death and doing a no death and then doing the Harmu clear. Stuff like that, I think, could be made easier for the rest of the player base, and I think that's fine by me. I think a lot of people probably like say you're fucking stupid, Nephis, because where's the challenge? But at the same time, it's like, well, okay, what? But the challenge for actual endgame raiders is not in the trifecta, right? It's not in the hard mode clear. For us, it's always been about score pushing, absolutely pushing the boundaries of ourselves and the content. It's fun for us to break the content, to speedrun it. No, it really is. Yeah. It's like, what crazy shit can we do to get the best fucking score, to get the world record? That's our in-game content, because there's nothing else outside of that in terms of incentives and rewards. So yeah, make it easier for the rest of the player base, but not like even for us. But at the same time, if you make it easier for us, then we can break more shit, and we have more fun that way. It's a win-win, I think. Like, and if you do this, if you nerf the content to that extent, you don't have to change the combat as drastically in the future. if they're really concerned about content accessibility, as I said.
Yeah, I definitely like Planesbreaker and Swashbuckler. They do feel so out of reach for the majority of players, and I think maybe that has had an effect on why they want to try and tune things down a little bit. But it doesn't seem to be making that content any easier. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm those type of guys who say I don't have much to complain about at the moment. It's more like, of course, accessibility has to be better in this game. Obviously, like compared to other games, they actually introduce you to trials. They help you get through stuff. Obviously, there's not much like meta changes. Like I feel like every patch you just have to change sets with so many changes, and it's like honestly just don't know where what should be expected, especially on the top 35. But I never played PTS, so I really don't know much about the changes and so on. I'm just like trying to stay optimistic and just give it a chance to see how it actually goes.
Yeah. Should we take a couple of questions from chat and then...
Yeah, we can start wrapping up for sure. Yeah, okay, does anyone have any questions for Scarlet, Zahu, or Ollie, or myself? Feel free to post your questions now. We'll answer them. For the most part,
I have a question.
Go on, yeah.
Are you posting the recipe of what you were cooking yesterday?
Which one, the salad or the roast?
Everything. It looked so delicious.
I think the salad was really good. Like, so fucking good. That's the best salad I've ever had. For real. The roast was really bad, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
Was it?
Yeah.
No,
like, it looks really
pretty
fucking
juicy.
good. Oh, yeah, look, it looks fucking good, but I didn't care for it.
No. Okay. See any more questions?
Okay, oh, there's questions. Okay, finally. Okay, let's see.
What's the worst dungeon in the game to run?
Lair Marcelog. It's the worst goddamn content in the entire game. I don't know which is worse, Sunspire or Lair Marcelog. I think they're on the same level.
I also don't like Frostvault.
Oh, really?
Honestly,
Frostvault, really?
Yeah, I don't like that mouse thingy at the end. People always fuck up. What do you want to say, Zaha?
But Frostvault is very forgiving. Like even if you die as a rat, you still have the chance to get the trifecta. But I feel like Lair Marcelog is very unforgiving. Whereas there's so many like fights before the last boss, and the last boss is the one that is actually the toughest. That it's very easy to wipe there. If I had to choose a dungeon that I hate the most, as in trying to, for example, let's say get a trifecta, Lair Marcelog is the one I actually hate the most. It's just
Yeah.
very unforgiving with long fights and
Mhm.
a lot of like mechanics where you have to communicate. It's just it's something that I'd rather not do ever again if I clear it or get to trifecta.
Ooh. Thanks,
Hmm.
Becky. Now I have the recipe.
Nephis and Guest, do you think there's still hope for Project Vitality going forward?
Fingers crossed. I hope
Hope?
so, but it's gonna, I think it's gonna have to downscale a bit.
Oh god. I don't know how to explain this. So I guess I can explain it. So the number of raid leads from its peak at about 226 people across 4 different platforms, across 6 different platforms and servers. Right, that's PlayStation EU NA, Xbox NA EU, PC NA EU, has gone down in the past 5 weeks or 4 weeks or so to about, at this point, I think it's less than 100. Probably a lot. Yeah, that's a huge fucking drop. That's the number of raid leads dropping is very impactful because, again, as I said earlier in the podcast, one raid lead, I think, even if it's like not, you know, if it's a raid lead that's learning, I think it's worth at least 100 fucking people to me, because they're posting the run for people to join and to have fun. That's really it. No one else is gonna fucking step up. No one else has in the history of ES. No, that's why I think, you know, that's why I asked you guys a question right earlier. Can you train raid leads? I think so, but it's gonna have a really low retention rate, success rate, with like out of maybe 11 people who you train to be raid leads over maybe the course of a month, maybe 1 person or 2 at most will continue raid leading for at least 6 months after that. At least 6 months after that. So when you have that many raid leads leaving the game and quitting the game, you can't sustain. And also, I mean, I guess it's like it's proportionate because raiders are also leaving, not just raid leads. So I don't know. It's a numbers game. The project has always been a numbers game, and that it's delayed my plans quite a bit. I planned a 2-year timeline for this project. 2-year timeline. As of update 35 PTS, I don't know how long the timeline is anymore. Maybe 4 years, and I don't know if I can bother with 4 years or 5 years. Because think about this: 2017 Morrowind, it took us about 2 years to rebuild the endgame community again. 2 years, and then another 2 years to get to where we were 5 weeks before update 35 PTS. So, I guess do the math. I don't know about hope. I don't know about hope. I'm just do the math. That's all. It's just numbers. Just numbers. I think PSEU is almost completely dead. For example, I think all the in-game guilds are disbanded. PSNA, they also disbanded. I don't know about Xbox. PCNA is, a lot of PCNA guilds are turtling up or quitting the game. So when you have guilds turtle up, they're not sending their raid lead, a raid lead to ESOU, which means there's no raid going on in ESOU from that guild. So that guild is, I mean, a lot of guilds are doing that, and I don't blame them because your guild comes first, your people come first, right? So there's a lot going on, but also we were hoping to supplement the project with classes from faculty members, like, oh, here's how you DPS, here's my rotation, or here's how you heal, blah blah blah, like in Discord classes, like interacting with one another. Faculty are also leaving and quitting, so I don't think there's any hope personally. Not to be depressed, not to be depressing, but it's looking really grim right now, and I put a lot of money and time into it. So you know, I'm just saying, at least I put at least $1,500 down into it, in terms of like preparing and stuff like that. So we also put a lot of dev time into it, like the bot. So there's a lot going on in the background that no one knows about. They just see like the raids and that's it. But there's a lot in the background, and that a lot of that has suffered because of the PTS. So yeah, it's pretty demoralizing for me. So if whatever happens at this point, I have no idea what's gonna happen. With the headcount, Ollie, which guitar is your favorite?
God, it's hard to mirror that one. My Fender Telecaster, because I don't know, it's so high quality. Like everything feels all nice. It's got a nice slick neck. There's no like painful, weird, sharp bits. That bridge pickup it's got like so much character. It sounds so bright and beautiful.
Looks
You
pretty
can
beautiful.
you can play anything on it. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Would you like to see more random valuable drops from hard modes, like the VAS poly? I think we'll take a goddamn. I think we'll take anything at this point. You know what I mean?
I think like not just that, but I just feel like everything like the rewards from trials, it's just feel like you have to get the trifecta to actually like get it in rewards. Now it's like body markings or titles. It's like if you don't give us like collections, at least give us like rune boxes or something that we can like keep going for. Like the more raids we have, there's more chances for like medium or new players to join those runs and learn. Now it's
Yeah.
like you run only for sets, and you just never run that trial anymore.
Run
Just do
boxes
like
with transmute stones as well.
and like anything,
Nice
honestly,
things in it.
anything goes. Anything
Yeah.
that you can farm, you can sell, you can use. It's just like it would be nice because then there are more motivation, more desire to run those trials.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
What's your greatest ESO accomplishment? And which accomplishment are you most proud of? Okay, I think that's a question for all of you.
Honestly, at this moment, just still playing the game. I'm not even kidding. I've had a lot of breaks from this game, and my biggest accomplishment is still playing the game.
I think you can say for all of us, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Actually, now you mention it, yeah, that is. Wow.
Not even trifecta. Is just really keep playing the game. So we should be rewarded for that. Oh
I
my God.
like all the like community achievements. Like I like being invited to QuakeCon and stuff. And I know like Pithka's add-on for like the biggest PVE nerd or whatever. That one was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any accomplishments. Alright, let's move on.
Do like one more question?
One more? There's so many though.
I know there's so many. But...
Okay, what advice would you give to new players regarding the new update and playstyles? I just started playing less than a month ago and I'm really loving it, but I'm worried about the future of the game after hearing the rest of the community's opinions on this new update. I feel like if you're a new player, it doesn't really affect you
No.
as much. So it's like,
Yeah,
You can keep doing your quests. You can keep killing little NPCs and keep doing your quests because it's not really gonna affect you unless you're gonna go on trials and do hard mode and stuff. For beginners, you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, one thing that I want to say about that is, imagine the players that have, let's say, played from release. They're used to like a certain way of playing the game, and now like every major change, it's like they have to almost start all over again with the playstyle and so on. But compared that to like a beginner player, you just you're still learning the game, so it's not really gonna affect you at all. Especially like only playing for 1 month, there's like still a lot to learn. And you're just learning from like the new stuff instead of having to change your playstyle every patch. At least I've noticed that I've had to change a lot of playstyles, especially like I've had to change a lot of classes even to get on par with the meta damage and so on. So it's not really gonna affect any beginner players. At least that's what I think.
Alright. Last question, and that's it. Do you think ZOS is afraid of promoting the endgame or providing a reward structure because they think it's inconsistent with the play how you want philosophy?
Ooh. That's a good question.
That's a loaded question. What do you guys think?
That is very deep.
I guess I'll go first. What
Okay.
you guys? Yeah. I don't know if they're afraid of promoting the endgame. I don't know. I just think they have different priorities than the player base. I think they're on a different timeline in terms of their work. I mean, Finn, I don't know if you guys know, but Finn came on the podcast with us 2 episodes ago. And he told us they do stuff 2 years in advance. So, at least for content. So it's like I don't know if they're afraid. I don't think they're malicious either. I think they get things wrong sometimes because they're human too, right? I just think they're just trying to cater to. It's really weird. I think they're trying to cater to the majority demographic, which as a business you should. You shouldn't care about people like me, honestly, as a business. You know what I mean? Like, because we're
exactly,
not. There aren't that many of us. Although that was the point of the Project Vitality, to have a demographic shift potentially, right, for rating. But until then, until some kind of shift is possible, I don't think it doesn't matter. I don't think they're malicious either. I don't think they like hate us. I think they're just trying to cater to the demographic, the majority demographic. But at the same time, they're also trying to balance around us for the rest of the player base, which is like, I don't know. You can't have it both ways. You can't be like play how you want, but at the same time, this is how you should play. You know what I mean? As for the reward structure, I don't know. According to Finn, cosmetics takes a lot of dev time. I kinda didn't understand what he meant by that on the last podcast. But then I think some people explained it to me too later on. Like, their engine is like not an engine that a lot of other game companies use. So I guess when they bring in new developers, they need to train those developers in like, you know what I mean, for the rendering, for the models and stuff like that. They have to bring them up to speed, and then they have to start churning out product. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on there, and I'm just not assuming any malicious intent at all. Even with Update 35, I think it's just something they're just kind of doing on their own timeline. That's it. And it just happens to affect the rest of us, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of just not wanting to promote Endgame, I don't think that would ever be the case. Like, it's their game. I'm sure they're proud of it and they want to show it off as much as possible. I guess it's just that there's not enough people playing the Endgame to have like a choice of people to show it off, really.
I mean, I do have to give ZOS credit. Like, no matter what they change, no matter how good it's, for example, for the endgame plays, of course, there's always gonna be like people complaining. It's like, can't really have everyone on ZOS's side on changes. It's one thing I assume that makes their job harder is having bad opinions about the changes. Of course, there are like, everyone complains, but there's always someone complaining about the changes.
Yeah. No matter what you do, there's always someone complaining. There's always someone not happy with it. That's everywhere.
Yeah, they put up with a lot of trash on the forums, sadly.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that was the last question. I know some of you have to like leave, so yeah, we'll wrap it up. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, where do we find you? If we want to get involved in, well, Dragon Void, I guess we want to. Let's see if we got a link.
You can find me on Twitch, which is ScarletWitchie, the same as you see it in here. On the About, you can find the links to everywhere, my Instagram, my Discord, and everything. It's in there. Just go on my Twitch and then on the About, there's all the links.
Awesome.
And thanks again for having us.
Thanks for coming, guys.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was enlightening.
Yes.
All right.
See you later. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.